Dispatch to all units. This is a third alarm. Switch to the TAC channel.
You got water. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the TAC channel. I'm your host, Heath Meredith. This is the Third Alarm Cowboys Podcast. This is a podcast for firefighters. We talk about real life situations, stuff in your station like leadership and promotions, and stuff in your personal life like relationships and finances. You name it, we talk about it. Some things may be a little controversial, but that's real life, and that's what we're going to talk about on this show. Man, guys, what's going on? It's been a second since I got to jump on here and record. Some of y'all been like, man, we're missing the shows, bro. As a lot of you can tell, I've been kind of focusing and putting out a lot more like reading material. I'm doing, honestly, a lot more articles and things like that I've been putting on social media and then rebuilding the website, really starting to grow, man. The Third Alarm Cowboys is, as an entire platform, it's taken off. It is totally taken off. We're putting out these articles. We're putting out really great content that you guys are loving, and really just kind of giving an update for you. I started last week where we're starting to take on some more Founding Outlaws. This is the group of guys that honestly, most of them have been with me from the very beginning, been listening to the show since this podcast was actually even named something else. And, a lot of these guys, I bounce a lot of ideas off of them. A lot of them are chiefs that have brought us in and brought us in to do trainings or hands-on class or my lecture or just a bunch of different circumstances with different people. But these are guys that truly believe in making the fire service better. These are guys that are actually taking action to make their departments better, make their crews better, make their families better. It's not all about, talk and bullshit and who can say the most, mean comment on social media. This is about guys that are really genuinely trying. And that's, starting in beginning of this year, January is, when we started the Founding Outlaws, brought on those original guys that I believe in, the guys that I personally am like, yeah, these guys are actually trying. So they basically, all of them got a personal invite from me in the very beginning. We've built a lot of great stuff. We've had social events. We had at conferences. We had, the custom Founding Outlaw shirts and Outlaw bundle where these guys have a special challenge coin and everything like that comes along with being part of the group. And, we have teams meetings and a lot of great things where it's a really tight-knit community within the Third Alarm Cowboys. And, talking with those guys and be like, hey, man, how can we start growing? How can we start making an even bigger difference? And really what it came down to, like, let's open up the doors. Let's see who's more or less qualified and is about it and not just all talk, not just social media, like who is really walking the walk and talking the talk in their personal life and in their career. And so, we put out last week, it's been about 5 days now, roughly, where, I started putting out where you could go on and fill out the application, become a Founding Outlaw. And it basically, I ask you some questions, everything. There was, always like everything, there's always the smart ass fucking dumb people that has got, oh, you're just wanting to bring in an echo chamber. No, we're screening people. And it very clearly says in there, that with the Founding Outlaws, there's an ability to make a commission, whether you choose basically whether you choose to get paid in a cash payment or if you choose to have store credit to buy more Third Alarm Cowboy merchandise as we come out with, more custom stuff and different products and everything like that. These guys have the ability to be able to get that shit for free, essentially, through their commissions. And so that's really the route that a lot of people have gone. But man, it's really pretty funny at this point in time. I'll tell y'all, in 5 days of having this application process live, I've had more people apply to become a Founding Outlaw than what a lot of fire departments in my area get to show up for tests. And so I laughed. I sent it to some of the Founding Outlaws, and I'm like, bro, we could literally start our own fire department. I could staff a fucking 4 or 5 station fire department right now just with Founding Outlaws. And so, it's kind of funny. It's funny to giggle about, but it's sad because it's true. And these guys are from all across the country. We've had everything from volunteer guys to career guys to retired guys. Rookies or all the way up to big chiefs and even some retired chiefs. A lot of guys that messaged me like, hey man, I want to be an outlaw. Is this open to, non-career guys? Absolutely it is. This is strictly for men and women that want better for the fire service and want better for their communities and want better for themselves. That is what it's for. If you fit any of those narratives or all of those narratives, then absolutely put the application in. I'll link it in the, in this video. I'm going to leave it open for about another week. So far, man, we've had like literally over 100 guys that have put in, and a lot of them have obviously made the cut. We're going to bring them on board. And then with that being said, man, if you It clearly states in the application, like, you can have this taken from you if you become a fuck up, if you're over here trying to do some sketchy shit so that you can, not be about it, or you're just trying to steal our ideas or anything of that nature, then you're out. You're out, and I have the freedom to be able to do that. There's no union protection or civil service law in, doing something to this magnitude, but the ability to have guys that really fucking care. And we've got probably a dozen guys that work for other training companies, and the owners of those training companies and their instructors have come on and joined. I mean, big shout out to them, but like Rural Fire Tactics with Logan Hinkle, Levy, Cook, all those guys are fucking awesome, and they've all come on board because they believe in the message. And we're not out here, we're not competing. It's the funny thing about it. When you get to a level of guys that actually genuinely give a fuck, you're no longer competing. You're trying to help each other out, because the end result is making firefighters and families and departments and communities stronger. So it's not a competition. I help Logan out. Logan helps me out. It's not an issue. And, there's several other guys that are involved in this, that are part of other companies. They have other brands. They have other podcasts. They have other books, other lecture series. I mean, there's lots and lots of options on here. And it's simply like, hey, we see the status quo. We see what's going on. We see the corporatization. We see the route that a lot of the fire service wants to go. And we just don't believe in that. So what do we believe in? Telling the truth, being matter of fact, building our guys up, understanding that everybody learns in different ways, but ultimately the end result is learning that, like, we need to try to be better every single day. And that's the message. And if that resonates with you on the shit, then hell, it's for you. Put the application in, give me your bio, tell me what you're all about, tell me where you're from. Obviously I got to get the demographics, because I'm going to be freaking paying you. I've got to get your, basic application. Some dumbass comment, oh, you filling out applications? Yeah, motherfucker. Like, if you ever not filled out an application to get a job, like, if somebody's going to be paying you and 1099 you, they got to have your freaking information. So whatever jackass that is, that's just the way that the real world works. Sorry that you obviously suck at taxes and you probably don't know how to do anything. But anyway, guys, that being said, man, I'd be proud to have every single one of you. There's thousands and thousands of you that listen to this show. There's 18, 20,000 people on social media following us at this point. Like, I'll take the whole damn army on, because that's what I'm looking at. This is an army of outlaws that truly, truly, truly believe in what the fire service is supposed to be. They believe in what, brotherhood is supposed to be. They believe in what the trust of the community is supposed to be. And everybody's just fed up. Everybody's fed up of the narratives that we've been fed, the bullshit we've been fed. And man, guys, like, I'll be honest with you, I'm very, very proud of the fact that we've been on the forefront for the last 3-4 years of being able to talk about this stuff and be one of the original people that's putting out the truth. And with that also has put us in a position where the wave that's coming of young guys, we're going to talk a lot more about this in this episode, because that's going to be a lot, basically what the subject is. But this wave of young guys that's coming in, they're not about it. They're not about the corporatization. They're not about the political correctness. They're not about the touchy-feely, blow smoke up your ass bullshit. They're here to be firefighters. That's it. And you can either honestly get with that or get the fuck out. And a lot of people are at the point they probably need to get the fuck out, but they have so much of their ego and their money and their cash cows is tied up in controlling the fire service narrative that they're on the struggle bus. They're on platforms, they're on foundations that are shaking right now. And I'm sorry, like, some of us have tried warning you. Some people have said, like, hey, we see this shit coming. These guys that are coming in are our kids' age. We know our kids. You don't even have, you might have grandkids or whatever that are this age, but you're not raising them. You're not at the schools. You're not at the sporting events. You don't see it every single day like some of us do that have children the age that's coming into the fire service. And, if you're blessed like I am, where I literally have kids from 18 to 3, for the next 15, 20 years of the fire service, I'm going to have the ability to see what's coming, because it's going to be my children's peers. And I do a good job of being involved with my kids and their sporting events. So I see it. And, like it, not like it, think Heath is a dumbass. That's fine. I don't care. But there's a whole big change that's coming. And a lot of us guys see that. I know that the Founding Outlaws see that. And that's why we're blowing the fuck up, man. That's why it's blowing up. That's why we've gotten as many applications as we have. And I say that in all fairness, like, I could literally staff a 4 or 5 station department, 3 or 4 shift model right now, just with applications that I got from badass firemen that that just want to do better and want the communities to have what they should absolutely have. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to pay a couple little bills real quick. Y'all, y'all know what's up. Ain't nothing new with it, man. But I'm going to tell you this new flavor, Form Energy from First Form, watermelon. Holy shit, guys. Probably, I'll be honest with you, it doesn't beat grape. The grape smash is still by far my favorite because I love grape soda. I grew up drinking that as a kid, and it's still my favorite. But I tell you, this watermelon wrath is pretty damn close. Top three, in my opinion, is grape smash, screaming freedom, and watermelon wrath. It is fucking good. I like the shit out of it. It's there's zero sugar energy drinks. They're starting to pop up in gas stations all over the place. But guys, if you want to order them, get a case sent to your house and help us out, because First Form sponsors this show. As you guys know, they've been with us from the very beginning. They really believe in what we're doing. They like telling the truth. You got Andy Frisella, that's was the former CEO. He's one of the founders of First Form, but now he's running the operator standard, and he has a podcast called Real AF. Guys, Andy is no bullshit. He's one of the few podcasts I genuinely follow. There's probably only 3 or 4 that I follow, I listen to, and I learn from, like, religiously. And he's one of them because he is a matter of fact, objective, doesn't believe in the cookie cutter bullshit, doesn't believe in, feel good. He's all about what we're all about. So you guys that follow this show, if y'all haven't ever checked out Andy, you need to go follow his stuff. Go check out the operator standard. If you're interested in that, man, I'll link that in there too, because I'm using that platform. It is an entire, basically a business administrator, personal development app that you have on your phone that has an AI component to it, that you literally give it the goals that you want to accomplish, whether it's in business, whether it's in health, whether it's in, family engagement, relationships. You plug in, literally, you build like your vision board of what you want out of your life, and it will help you build the tasks that you need to complete every single day to make that happen. That's a huge deal. I've been using it now since they launched the program at the beginning of the year, and this business has fucking skyrocketed. Yes, it's because the content we put out is real. Yes, it's because our training that we go travel and teach is real. Obviously, AI can't teach you all the shit we do on the fire ground, but the actual, like, having me hammer down my schedule, my tasks, what I do day to day, this app has tremendously helped me in guiding that. Like, hey, you need to knock out this today. You need to reach out and talk to these people today. You need to make sure you send these invoices today. Like, it literally, and Josh, shout out to you, man. We were joking about the other day of like, how the hell do you keep track of like all the balance that you got to do between the kids and the wife and the house and the ranch and the business and then 2 actual fire jobs and all that shit, man. Like, it's a big proponent. I'm not the best at it, but if it wasn't for me being able to actually say like, hey, you need to complete these tasks today in this app, and I go in there and log it, I'd probably be where I was last year, where I was constantly in fucking turmoil. So got a lot going on. There's probably nobody out there that could actually probably legitimately handle the schedule that my wife and I do on the day-to-day. If you looked at our family calendar, most people would be like, oh my God. But we make it work and we do it. And that's all thanks to, Andy's platform. That's thanks to my wife and I having the ability to do a lot of like tag team parenting when we need to, and my guys helping me when it comes to the training stuff. Like, there's a lot of aspects, but I use that operator standard app religiously every single day now to really hammer out stuff. Had it on my list today. You need to record a podcast today. So lots and lots of little bitty things like that, guys. But if you're interested in First Form, a ton of you have reached out when it comes to wanting me to help you out with your workouts, your diet, your supplementation. A lot of guys, even that I work with throughout the last few years, but especially right now, the guys that are seeing me that I've literally gotten where I'm hammering out my diet like I should, hammering out my supplements like I should, and hammering my workouts exactly like I need to. And a lot of that I use the app for. But doing those supplements and stuff, guys can actually see like, hey man, how are you getting your protein intake? Well, this is what I'm taking. I'm drinking this protein shake. I like this flavor, blah, blah, blah. So a lot of you reached out. And guys, just being totally honest with you, those of you that reach out, I coach through, when you go through an order, you plug in my code or you let me know and I'll make sure that it linked you and I together, that you're one of my customers. All of that is what I use to fund this podcast. That's why, I've gone a long time without having sponsors, because First Form has been enough to do this. Now, we're growing. We got a lot more going on. And so there's going to be a lot more things that I'm starting to do. And First Form is only going to be adding to that. So with that being said, if you're interested in that, you want some help with your nutrition, you want help with supplements, you want help with workouts, definitely hit me up. Shoot me a DM on social media or email me thirdAlarmCowboys@gmail.com, and I'll work through all that stuff with you and make sure you get the right things. I'm not here to sell you a whole bunch of shit that you don't need. And, we'll start with the basics of things you need, and then we'll add on as your goals improve. But guys, if, you're interested in that, you want to go check out the products, it's firstform.com/thirdAlarmCowboys. That's the number 1st.com. Form is PHORM.com/thirdAlarmCowboys. Go check that out. And be sure and plug in that code or use that link or hit me up, and I'll send you a direct link to a specific product. And that makes it really, really easy on you. All you got to do is click it and add to cart. So with that being said, guys, one more thing. We do have a big deal coming up. Our hashtag firefighter cigars, man. Third Alarm Cowboys Payne Mason Partnership Cigars. We have 5 different blends. As we kick up and start doing more and more conferences, guys, y'all are going to see on my social media page how much more we're taking off. We're literally booked starting 1st of September from now through December. Basically 2 to 3 and 1 month, I think. Yeah, 3. 2 to 3 trainings every month from then. And then in one of the months, I have 3 trainings. And then already in the first quarter of next year, we already have 4 trainings booked. So it's taking the fuck off, guys. You're going to start seeing these cigars everywhere. They're already very, very popular. Everywhere we go, we take them, we sell out. I mean, that's just the cold hard truth to it. Guys love these cigars. There's several hundred of you that are already subscribed. But guys, one thing I have launched, because I really, really, really want to push this, and guys getting these cigars because they're the best cigars out there. There's other companies out there that, they've seen that it's been successful. Having a firefighter branded cigar of 5 different blends is getting successful. So, other people want to copy it. But guess what? It's never going to be the original. It's never going to be as good as Payne Mason cigars. They are the only truly hand-rolled cigar company of that level of a premier cigar. There's no machine packing. Totally hand-rolled cigars by Cuban master rollers with Payne Mason. These are absolutely the premier cigars in the country. They're partnered with some of the other biggest names: Major League Baseball Players Association, Maserati, Porsche, Ferrari, all of your absolute top-end stuff, even like the Bellagio resorts in Vegas, all those major resorts. When you see that and it has their brand on it, they're partnering with Payne Mason just like I am. It is the same cigars that we're using. And simply, Payne Mason loves what we're doing. They love firefighters. They've taken care of me from the very beginning, and we're all about bringing in the little guy and building it up. So, guys, I'm bringing you absolutely by far one of the most premium, high-quality cigars in the world to firefighters just like me and you. It's not a gas station cigar that you go down there and buy. With that being said, man, we're getting really big, and guys are starting to really like doing the subscription where they can get a cigar mailed to them every single month and, try out different cigars, stuff like that. We got 5 different blends. I have these cards here. I'm going to be starting to put these so you guys can really see them, this little menu. 5 different blends from mild to a bold tobacco, full and bold tobacco, and it's rank based, just like in the fire department. A firefighter is going to be your mild, your blonde blend, all the way up to the chief is going to be the bold. We had the engine operator and the truckie, or a medium blend. And then the captain is actually, it's kind of corny, I know, but I thought it was cool. So I chose the captain to be the barber pole, which is a blend between the medium and the mild, the blonde tobaccos. And it's a barber pole, so it's mixed. And I kind of did that because as a captain, you're a mix. You're still one of the guys. You're still part admin. So I did that just kind of being corny, but it works. But other than that, guys, with the subscription, if you use code TACMonth1, you're going to get your first month for free. So we're going to shoot you a cigar for free on that first month. If you'll go on there and sign up, use TACMonth1 when you go to PayneMason.com/ThirdAlarmCowboys. You'll see all of the menu up there with all the badass cigars. Great company. They're great to work with. And guys, we got September is coming up, and I got a really big deal coming in September for you guys. We always do the 9/11 Memorial Bundle. And we take all the proceeds from that and send them to an organization. And we have a whole new deal coming up with the Founding Outlaws that's going to go to that organization. That's going to truly benefit you guys that are interested in training and, wanting to get better. So with that being said, go to PayneMason.com/ThirdAlarmCowboys. Be sure and use that TACMonth1 promo code to get your first free cigar. Other than that, guys, let's get into some of the meat and potatoes of this episode. Some of you saw where I posted yesterday, basically asking 2 questions because it was on my mind. Facebook asked, "What's on your mind?" So I'm going to say, "What's on my mind?" And it was cowardice of the fire service. That was very heavily on my mind at the time. And I asked you guys, what is cowardice in the fire service to you? And then what is a story of something where you experienced that? By far, I think I checked it earlier when I first got home, and there was probably, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 comments of guys giving different stories and stuff like that. And overall, the overwhelming majority of what fire service cowardice is to most of you is the three repetitive deals that I saw was basically not telling the truth, not doing the right thing for fear of the repercussions or the consequences for doing the right thing, painting a target on your back, etc. There was a few on there about like actual tactical cowardice, operational cowardice. That's very, very disturbing, actually. And then ultimately just not telling the truth was the main one I kept seeing over and over and over again. Guys not speaking their mind, guys not speaking up, guys not saying what they actually believe in for fear of the repercussions. And man, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Like, I see that. I see that very much so. I think that is a massive issue. I think that obviously this platform has been combating that from the very beginning. I can't tell you the amount of targets I've painted on my back throughout my career, in my life and my friendships and everything like that, behind sitting here and literally just telling you guys what I think when it comes to certain topics. Obviously, most of you know, I make this shit up as I go. Originally in the beginning, I tried to sit down and kind of have, I'm going to have a script, the things I'm going to, didn't work. Just shit didn't work for me. That's why I may talk about Chiefs in one episode, and then I may talk tactics in another episode. I may talk about family in another episode, or hell, I may talk about politics, which I don't touch a whole lot, because right now I'm too pissed off, and basically I probably will end up having a stroke. But we talk about the things that are very heavy on my mind at the time I get on here, and that's quite often, most of the time, why I'm fired up, because it's often something that recently happened or a memory that popped up from something that happened to me in the past, and it was something I was reliving or something to that effect, right? So it's something that's fresh on my mind. So it's not, no, I'm not having a stroke. And it's kind of funny, a lot of the dudes out there or whatever comment like, you got fucking problems, anger problems. I'm like, no, like, I'll tell you wholeheartedly, if I'm mad, somebody's going to the hospital and I'm probably going to jail. So if I'm recording an episode, then I'm probably not mad. I'm just, some of you guys like to say I'm passionate. But guys, talking about the cowardice of the fire service, man, there's been so many different examples that's been painted for me of cowardice through the fire service that, like, I can't even really necessarily zone into one in particular thing. But ultimately, what I will say, in my opinion, is the biggest cowardice in the fire service is a refusal to step up and stand for what you believe is right, say what you believe is right. Just honestly, like, speaking your mind. Like, I think that is the biggest cowardice that is plaguing the fire service. I think that it comes from, as a diagnosis, I think all you got to do is go on and look at anything. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're me or any other fire service leader, influencer, whatever the fuck you want to call us, on social media with a platform. You go and read the comments, and I don't care if you say that, like, at this point in time, you could literally go on there and say that water puts fire out, and there's going to be 4 or 5 dumb motherfuckers in the comments arguing about the fact that water puts fire out. So, like, you can't win. You absolutely cannot win in today's fire service. You cannot fucking win. And what I will tell you guys is the reason that I feel so many people are having all these issues with mental health. They're having issues with, balance. They're having issues with just overall well-being, is because they're lying to themselves all the time for fear of what those dumb fucks are going to say. And it may be the dumb fucks that work at your department. They're going to say some shit. You think for a second that the guys that I work with in my department, that every single one of them likes me? No, absolutely not. They think I'm a dumb fuck for having a podcast. There's quite a few that think that. And that's fine. I really don't care. They're not paying my bills. They don't sleep with me. Other than that, I don't care. Like, that's, I care what my wife thinks, because, she's the mother of my children. I'm married to her. I said my vows to her, and, we live a life together. So I care what she thinks. And then other than that, man, like, I'm the type of guy that, like, if the fire service ended for me tomorrow, I'm still going to find a way to earn a living. If I got to change oil for a living, I got to go back to a drilling rig. I got to go back to the industrial. I'm that guy I'm never going to allow someone else to control my reality. And so I don't have the mental health problems. I think a lot of people do. When you guys, I talk about the cross bugle curses and stuff on a recent article that I posted, but like when you guys sacrifice your well-being and your thoughts and beliefs and feelings for comfort, which we see all the time in the fire service, all the time. And that's where I refer to the cross bugle curse, is because these guys are sacrificing who they are, guys and girls, it doesn't matter, everybody's guys. You're sacrificing who you are and what you believe in for the comfort of a position or a title or a paycheck. And if you genuinely think that shit's not going to eat you alive, you're a fool, because it's going to. And that's why you're on medication. And that's why the reason that you have anxiety is because you know that you're not living and doing the things that you were meant to live and do. That's where the anxiety comes from. It's eating you up and causing you to have these problems because you're living a life that you don't believe in. You're doing things that you don't believe in, and so it's fucking destroying you on the inside. No, I'm not a scientist. No, I'm not a doctor, but that's pretty clear to see. And, in saying all that, reading those comments, I know you guys are living that shit. I know that you understand it's a reality, because now you're commenting. Now you have the bravery to even go on there and comment and say, I believe this is the biggest level of cowardice. Is someone not speaking the truth, someone lying, someone, not doing the right thing. It all kind of comes into the same deal, especially in a profession we walk around with a badge on our chest, all poked out like we amount to something. We're supposed to be this level in our community's mind. And if we're not living up to that level, it eats you alive on it. That doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out, or a fucking doctor to figure that out. When you're living a lie, you're unhappy. I mean, it's just the truth. With that being said, guys, probably get myself in a little trouble on this one, but it's something that I very recently saw. It's something I very recently lived. It's something that kind of really hit me at home, and it started tying a lot of things in for me together. I'll start this off by saying, the beginning of this episode, I talked about the wave of people that are coming, the wave of the young guys that are coming to the fire service. That is a real thing. I'm here to tell you it's a real thing. I have talked about it extensively on this podcast for episodes now. Dozens of episodes, I've mentioned it. It is a real thing. Now, where we are in today's fire service is we're on that teeter-totter between the new guys and what they believe and what they, their heart and their convictions have them, and the old guys that were brought up to be, I say the old guys, the people a little bit older than me and people that are my age, were brought up in the complete political correctness. You don't hurt other people's feelings. You got to watch what you say. Be inclusive to everyone, blah, blah, blah. I mean, the list goes on and on. They were brought up into that belief. People have built entire careers on those beliefs. There's lawyers that travel around teaching classes on these beliefs. I don't disagree with the fact we need to show everybody love. I don't disagree with the fact that, people are all different walks of life. People believe in different things. I don't discredit any of those deals. But when you reach a point in society, as which we have, where the level of word manipulation and lying to yourself to make someone else's reality real, it flops, it crashes, it burns, it no longer works. And that's where we are in the fire service. This is not a dig at anybody. It's not a dig at anybody in particular. If you feel some kind of way about this, I'm fucking sorry. We've allowed females to come into the fire service. Good, great. Can they do the job? Fucking awesome. We've allowed, men have traditionally always been in this service, but there were certain men we didn't allow in this service. I couldn't get a fucking job forever simply because of what my last name was in the town that I grew up in, because of bad blood from the 1980s. Had nothing to do with my abilities, had nothing to do with my fucking testing scores, had nothing to do with my PAT test scores and times, and had nothing to do with any of that. I was a strong young man in a early 2000s fire service that couldn't get a job simply because of my last name and the family I came from and the town I grew up in. So we weren't inclusive on that. We weren't looking for high performance in that. We were cherry picking who we wanted then. And it was against a white male, okay? And that shit has happened to me repeatedly. Then we went through a period where, affirmative action, we got to hire a bunch of minorities. Okay, fine, whatever. Brought females in. We hired a lot of females in. Okay, fine, whatever. Can you do the job or can you not? I don't give two shits what's between your legs. I don't care how much pigmentation you have in your skin. Just don't give a fuck. Can you do the job or can you not? And we've had 20 plus years. Some of you guys, it's been longer than 20 years. Well, motherfuckers, here's a clarification for you. My experience has been the last 20 years, so that's what I'm going to specifically speak on because that's what I specifically experienced. So all you stupid people that are going to get in the reels on this and say, well, hell, that's been going longer than 20 years, boy. You don't know shit. Good, great, fucking fantastic, motherfucker. Guess what? My answer to that shit is, if it's been going on for longer than that and you were around for it, your fucking ass should have been saying some shit about it 30 fucking years ago. If it had been going on for 30 years, that means people like you shut the fuck up and cowardice took over and you didn't say shit for the last 30 years. So if it's been going on for longer than that, then it's on you. But it's been going on for almost the last 20 in my career and I'm doing something about it. So that's my fucking opinion of all you people that's got something to say on timelines. I'm doing something you didn't. Why? Because of the subject that we're talking about. You're a fucking coward. We don't care about what your religion is, your sexual preference is, your pigmentation in your skin, your fucking hairdo, what's between. We don't care. Nobody gives a fuck. Okay? That is the God's honest truth. And what I'm going to tell you all of the generation that's coming up, of the young guys that are coming in, the 18 to 24-year-olds, they don't give a fuck. And it was so apparent to me. I was recently at a training. Saw multiple generations are in this room. You got everything from 30 plus year guys all the way down to fucking dudes that's been in less than, 3 months. And I'm going to tell you, it was the most satisfying conversation I've ever had in my entire career of listening to these young guys. And the instructor was giving his spiel and it was about inclusion. And it was this and about what you can say and what you can't say. And of course, y'all already know I lost my shit at a couple of times, and I regret some of the things that I said and the way that I said them, because I don't know if I was clear in my explanation. But there was other times where I even asked the guy, I said, am I being reasonable? Is my explanation reasonable enough for you because you're an attorney and you're saying the shit? Are my reasons, am I being reasonable in what I'm saying? And he was like, yeah, I can't argue with what you're saying. What you're saying is actually constitutionally correct, but I'm trying to tell you how things are when it comes to the current climate in the fire service. Well, that right there goes against each other. And what I'm here to tell you guys, when we've gotten to a point in the fire service where we push so much shit, what I call word manipulation, what I call feeling manipulation, what I call people's opinions manipulation, pushing a narrative over here where now there's actually even a conversation of whether it's constitutionally right or not, now you got a fucking problem. Now you have a fucking problem because when you're a guy like me and you literally have an attorney on your payroll that protects constitutional law, you ain't got a leg to stand on. And fire departments have gotten, y'all heard me talk lots and lots of shit about chiefs that like to run their own little kingdoms. You don't realize because you're so sheltered. You talk about me having an echo chamber of Founding Outlaws. You have such an echo chamber of the fucking luncheon table that you're only hearing ideas of the same fucking bullshit. You're not seeing the climate that's going on. People are fed up with it. People are tired of being told they have to lie to themselves on their fucking beliefs in a country that touts itself and literally has a constitution that says religious freedom, freedom of speech. And guess what? They give you the Second Amendment to back all that bullshit up. When it finally reaches a breaking point, and I'm not calling for this, but I feel that it's coming because you're starting to see it. You're seeing people go to their city councils with fucking guns. You're seeing people walk in and basically tell the cops, if you fucking touch me, I will fucking kill you. I'm going to speak. This is my constitutional right. And guess what? It is. The Second Amendment is put in there to back up those constitutional rights. Your fire chief policies don't override a firearm. And I'm not saying it's going to come from the fire department, but it is going to come from the citizens, because when the citizens start showing up at your city council meetings and you're seeing it, the videos of the people and the fire chiefs that are basically trying to sell a line of bullshit to a citizen about why their family member died, but it's for a service that they've been paying. That level is going to break. That levee, that gum people keep sticking on the dam to hold the water back is eventually going to give. And I don't necessarily want that. I want reality back. I want reality back. I don't want it to have to come with guns, because I don't want my children to have to live in a war zone at home. I don't want that. But what am I realizing? That is probably coming? Yeah, it's probably coming, because people are fucking tired of being forced to live a lie. You got the president, which I advocated greatly for this man to get elected. But you got the president saying that the fucking economy is the best it's ever been. And I don't know about you motherfuckers, but it's getting awful hard to fill up a truck full of diesel. Going and buying groceries is getting fucking hard for a family of 7. If my wife and I didn't have all of this and she works 2 jobs, I work 2 fire department jobs, plus run this business, we would be fucking starving. So I know a lot of you guys, I know that y'all are struggling. I know that firefighters struggle because we're already paid like dog shit anyway. So you got the president lying to you. You got fire chiefs lying to you. You got attorneys lying to you about the way it's got to be. And everyone is tired of it. Everyone is fucking tired of it. And guys, I saw it in this training. Guys that ain't been in the fire department a year, 2 years, 3 years, looking this instructor in the eyes and saying, I don't believe in that. I don't fucking believe in that. There's no amount of anything that you're going to say that's going to make me believe in that. And the topic was simple and like strike me down, because this is probably going to, get me in trouble a little bit. But you have people that are trying to say in the fire service, in these training events, to be compliant, that if you and I are having a private conversation in a private room and someone barges in on a conversation and hears it, and they don't like what you're talking about, they can run to HR and have you hemmed up in a fucking courtroom. And the guys are all saying, no, motherfucker. Like, if I'm having a private conversation with an individual and it is private and you come into that conversation, you can fucking see your way out of that conversation. It's none of your business. And, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, everybody would have believed that, oh yeah, man, you can't say that. You're going to end up in HR, blah, blah, blah. But I'm telling y'all, I watched young guys stand their ground on, no, fuck off. We're allowed to have a private conversation between 2 American citizens without someone ending up in the fucking courtroom. That is the climate that's coming. These kids that are coming, we all like to call them kids because they're younger than us. They're more patriotic than any of us can even fucking imagine. They're not dumb. They literally have that phone in the palm of their hand at all times with fucking ChatGPT on it that can look up any case law that's known to this country. So their ability to have the knowledge and be able to back up what they're doing, I'm sorry, it's more than all of us combined. And then their drive and love for the job and for being a free American and for actually standing for what they fucking believe in is more than any of us. So we're at this like really pivotal moment. And I encourage all of you to understand, you chiefs out here that listen, like, understand this is a wave that's coming. You could say they're stupid, but all they are is proud Americans and they're following the Constitution. The Constitution says they're allowed to have these thoughts, these feelings, and their beliefs. And if we can honor these other people's beliefs, then by God, you got to honor their fucking beliefs too. And there's no amount of court system that can back that up. You're literally watching it. All the shit that happened from COVID where constitutional rights were violated, that shit is finally, because it's been several years now, it's finally all starting to go to court because the court system sucks so bad and is so backed up. And these people are fucking winning. They're winning. Companies are having to pay people thousands and millions of dollars because they violated their constitutional rights. It is coming. And all I can encourage all of you is stop falling for the cowardice of what the generations before us fell into and see what's coming. Yeah, we might have a rough couple of years. You might have a target on your back for a couple of years because you're that guy. You speak your mind. You stand for what you actually believe in. But if what you believe in is constitutionally backed and is right and is true and is objective, I'm not talking about whiny firefighter bullshit. I'm talking about true objective criteria things, and you believe in those, then history's on your side. And this next generation that's coming in is going to be on your side. And when you have a major wave coming in, see, this is the thing too, when you start really crunching the numbers, this is what a lot of people probably don't think about because they don't have the, passion about this topic that I do, right? We have my generation, which is the 10 to 20 year generation of experience. We're in that gap. We're the smallest percentage in the fire service because government policies and bankruptcies in the government, fucking recession time period, all those different things. And the fire departments back then were basically only city departments were paid, to where in the last 8 to 10 years, we've had all of these ESD departments, county departments, fire board departments have all exploded across the country, and the developments have happened and all this shit. So now we have this massive influx on this end. There's a small number of us in the middle right here. And then we did have a big number of the post 9/11 guys when the whole world loved firefighters. So they actually, started pouring money into fire department budgets and allowing them to hire and up staff. And that's when minimum staffing for fire trucks actually became a thing. And so you have this big group. Well, this big group is mid to upper 50s and above in age. And they're starting to go out. So you have, you got this group that's up here, our small percentage down here of population, and then this group right here is starting to come down. So what does that leave you with? The majority bulk is the ones that I'm talking about. They care about training. They care about performance. They care about objectivity. They care about truth and reality. They care about this country. They care about actually fucking being able to fucking perform. I got to say that again because people seem to not understand. There is a reason why, in a perfect example, there is a reason why the conferences out there across the country that are teetotally lecture-based are starting to dwindle in their registration numbers, and a little conference down the road that's doing a 2-day live burn class with Todd Edwards or Kyle Romagus that is the first time startup and they're fucking sold out. 40 people and it's sold out. That's the reason why. For 20 years, you had my generation a little bit older that advanced their careers through paper. That's just the truth of it. They advanced their careers through paper, so they would go to these lecture-only seminar-style conferences where they could go and get another certification and stick it in their resume. Goes to get another certification, stick it. These young guys don't give a fuck about your resume. They don't give a fuck about their resume. They care about their ability to perform on the fire ground. So if they're going to take the chance and go into this conference, and spend 3 days taking 16 hours worth of lectures, or go over here and take my class or take Todd's class or Romagus's class or whoever's class where they're throwing ladders, forcing doors, doing search and rescue, hot and sweaty in their fire gear and doing some live burns, they're choosing that shit. That should tell you all fire service leaders out there what's coming. And this other shit that we've been riding, you guys that have built your careers on this other shit, I'm trying to give you a warning to get ahead of it. If you still want to have a strong stream of income in the next 10 years, you better get ahead of it and start changing the stuff that you kind of are selling to people, because guys are not believing that shit anymore. They just don't care. I literally watch these guys literally look at a dude, an instructor, and say, we got bigger fish to fry than what's in between your legs. Can you do the job or can you not do the job? That's literally all we care about. We don't give a fuck. That's it. They're like, we're worried about, can guys pull lines? We're worried about, can guys, save our own? Can they cut a hole in a roof? Can they force a door? Can they throw ladders? That's literally what we care about. We could give two shits about what's between your legs. And I was like, damn. And, that was one incident. But what I'm trying to tell you all is traveling to these conferences and watching the numbers. We've been traveling now a year and a half. Probably been to 25 training events and conferences to date. And I will tell you, the numbers for the places that are doing, hands-on trainings, 1 or 2 days, those numbers are growing, and the conferences that are lecture only are starting to go down. And I hate it for some of them because some of those conferences are outstanding and I enjoy them. I enjoy getting to go and listen to other instructors give their material, their message. It's great material. I'm not knocking on that. I'm saying what the guys want. What people want that are coming in this fire service is operations and to be good at their job. They don't care about padding their resume, as so many of my generation and before did. So we have a serious changing of the tide that's coming, and I really, really hope that you guys understand it. I really, really hope that you're all about it. I got one more big topic I want to cover on this, but I do want to give a shout out. I need to basically announce to all you guys real quick that we actually have I brought on a new sponsor, mainly because I believe in the platform and I believe in what the guy is doing. And so it's a brand new deal. This guy is actually out of Texas. He is has started a company where he's literally trying to help guys in a real and meaningful way to be able to pass their test, promote, get hired, even working with some nurses on being able to do their their nurse test, the NCLEX, whatever they call it. But this guy, the name of the company, man, is called is Test Rescue. That's test and then RES, the letter Q .com. But guys, in checking out a lot of what they have going on and everything, you know that I don't like to do a real super formal advertisement because that's just not who I am. But guys, checking out his website, basically what the deal is, man, is this guy it's a one-of-a-kind business where they are literally pulling from all the different textbooks, all the different platforms, whether it's for promotional exams, new hire exams, all this stuff. They're combining all of the different test materials and putting them into these test banks that have thousands and thousands of questions that are built on these platforms. And what's really, really cool to me and what's my favorite part about the entire platform is where, say, this textbook A and textbook B have contraindicating information, especially if it's for, EMS or for nursing, stuff like that. It will actually list that. It'll actually let you know that, like, hey, these two textbooks are contraindicating what they're trying to teach. And that's something that nobody else is doing. I have to go and dig and do a little bit more as far as he basically set me up being able to go in there on the website and everything like that. And I'm going to actually bring this guy on pretty much as a full-time sponsor because I really do believe in the program. I do believe in what he's trying to do. And he's a Texas guy, so I really do got to support him. But guys, this is a platform unlike any other where you can literally go on there and be able to see real material, real test questions, and have great feedback back and forth. There's help ways to get help on the platform. You go on there, create a profile. When you go on and log in, you go to create your profile and start up your account, use the code Third Alarm. And that way he just knows like how many guys are traffic is coming from this podcast and stuff like that. And so he can kind of keep track of how many of you guys are actually going and checking out his platform. So y'all definitely go and check that out. On the next couple episodes, I'm going to fill in more and more information as I play with the website more and, get more familiar with it with myself. But what I could tell you is I genuinely like the idea. I genuinely like the program. I like the fact that there's somebody out there because we've all used the different, IFSTA apps or study apps, Jones and Bartlett, all that kind of stuff. But then you go take a test and it's material off of another book. But your fire academy used this book. Well, this is the first platform that's out there that's combining all those information and giving you proper answers to the actual test questions. And if anything contraindicates with each other or contradicts with other questions and stuff, it lets you know that. Another big thing is he has that platform for the nursing stuff too. So you firefighters out there that are, gone and got your paramedic, and then now you're going and doing what they call it, the conversion program where you go paramedic to RN. You can use this platform too and be able to, it can help you with on your nursing side too. So nobody else is doing this stuff, guys. As I said, I will do, more info on it as I get to play with the website more. I'm not one that's going to really read off a script and stuff like that, guys, but I actually really like this. So go to testrescue.com. That's test, RES, the letter Q, .com. Use promo code Third Alarm, and that will get you guys in there and really be able to start getting yourself ready for those new hire tests and or those promotions. Guys, in wrapping up this episode, I just want you guys to go and look at yourselves in the mirror. Go and look at yourselves in the mirror, especially guys that have been sent me applications to become a founding outlaw. Go look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, have you ever, or are you currently being asked by whoever, fire department, or even in your personal life, be asked to live a reality that you don't believe in? Be asked to, are you being asked to tell people things or say things to others, that shit that you don't believe in. I have. I'm sure all of you have. You've all crossed those paths where people have asked you to do or say things that completely go against your actual beliefs. I'm here to tell you all, like it or not, that train is coming off the tracks. It's not going to be around much longer. It's not going to be around much longer. This is going to die with the generation that's currently in control of a lot of the platforms, whether it's the government, whether it's the fire service, whether it's, different religious parties. That stuff is going to die. I cannot tell you guys enough how much the world is changing, especially in the fire service, right before your eyes. You guys on here that like to go on and comment, well, it's not like that up here, or that's not how we do it. You must be at some volunteer department. No, I'm not at a fucking volunteer department. I don't have anything against volunteers, but I've been a career fireman for fucking 17 years at very high call volume fire departments in the big cities of Texas. Like, I can't even stand that shit. Get out of your bubble. Get out of your bubble, because your bubble will lie to you. Get out of your bubble, because your bubble will deceive you. You might be at the same department for 30, 40 years, and that's great. Go two departments over, and you're going to see a whole new world. Things that probably would help your department out. Things that would probably help you out. Help your life out. Help everything in your career be better if you would get outside your bubble and go see it. Your own eyes can deceive you when you only look at the same thing. Especially if you're looking at yourself. We're great at lying to ourselves, guys. I've been a fat boy off and on my entire life, and we're literally the best at being able to lie ourselves as a fat boy about how fat you're really not, but you really are. Like, that's some real shit. And, I'm down 3 pant sizes and about 2.5 shirt sizes. And I tell myself, a year ago, I could fucking perform. It didn't have anything to do with performance. I was great on the fire ground. I didn't really necessarily like the way I looked. I knew that, but I would, I could tell myself, well, you're still outperforming some of these 20-year-olds, so it's okay. But you just reach a point where it's like, man, you just don't even like how you look anymore. Even though you can perform, I didn't ever have any issues like that. Didn't have an issue passing my NFPA fit test. Didn't have an issue, lasting on a fire ground or doing live burns. You just get to a point where you look at yourself and you're like, man, I'm lying to myself. I don't like this. I don't like that. Whatever it is. If that's you, have a real conversation with yourself. Without looking at the phone, figure out what it is that you're not liking. If it's your career, if you're lying to yourself about your career, if you're lying to yourself about the fire department you work at, telling yourself that it's great because you're comfortable and you got rank and you're getting paid good money and you don't want to start over. Like, the list goes on and on, man. And I'm a prime example of that guy that's like totally fucked his career up by making moves when I finally got fed up. Like, I should have probably 4 times as much in my pension as what I do. But when you move every few years, chasing fucking greener pastures, in that new account, and you go and start over a new account, well, that money over here quits building, and now you're building from zero. So, I've got 4 different pensions that are like all right here when this one should be way up here. But I was chasing greener pastures. I was lying to myself. I was allowing people to lie to me, go over there, and guess what? It wasn't any better. I was just literally dealing with a different type of fertilizer that was making that different type of bullshit for you, those that you don't know, or chicken shit for those that you don't know what fertilizer is. I was lying to myself thinking that shit was actually greener over there, and all it was just a different level of shit. So I will ask you all to go speak to yourself, have a conversation with yourself on the things that you believe in. If you're eating up, like, if you're eating yourself on the inside, you got anxiety, you have these problems, you can't sleep at night, there's obviously something not right. There's something not right in the life that you're living. I'm not saying that you're doing anything wrong, but what I am saying is something is not jiving. Whether it's somebody making you do shit that you don't believe in. If you work at a department that is like, nope, we're never going interior, we're going all defensive because we're all about safety over here. And that's eating you alive because hey, man, I was given bunker gear and an air pack to go inside. Why are we following a policy that doesn't allow us to go inside? And that's bothering you? Then fucking make a move. If it bothers you, and one more example. one of the Founding Outlaws, he and I were talking, and he's an older guy like me. He's actually older than me. And he did the same thing I did in his mid-30s. He swapped departments and went and fucking rookied again. Went and rookied at 35. So he did a year older than I did. And he had been a captain. Same shit, but he went to a department that had a better culture, just like I did. I went to the department I'm at now for a better culture. And so you can do it. What I'm getting at, you can do it. If the department that you are at is eating you alive and you don't believe in the shit that's being taught, you don't believe in the message that's going on, the policies, the fucking whatever that looks like, and you don't believe it, I don't care how old you are. Even if you're in your fucking 40s or 50s, man, hit me up and I'll put you on a workout program and get your body ready where you can go do it again. Age is just a number on that shit. That's a whole other deal. Age is, if you want it and you believe in it and you want something, we can make it happen. Okay, we can make it happen. You can find happiness in this career. You can find a good spot to be. Man, if you're at a department that's fucking slow or runs nothing but EMS and it's eating you alive because you fucking hate the ambulance, you're tired of being on the ambulance, and you join this to be a firefighter, but there's no end in sight on when you're ever going to actually get to ride a fire truck, fucking leave. That number in your pension, guys, I'm here to tell you that number in your pension is not going to matter when you look back, you did a 30-year career and you do not feel fulfilled. You feel like you left so much on the fucking table because you were stuck doing this shit when you wanted to be doing this. You know, I tell my young guys that shit all the time, you know, and some chiefs don't like it when I say that, but I tell guys that all the time, especially working at one of the county departments in Harris County outside of Houston. I'm like, man, what this is what this is. If you're cool with riding an engine, running med calls on an engine, fighting fires on an engine, if you're cool with that and you're happy with that, like I like it, it's fun to me, I'm cool, then great. I enjoy it. But if you're one of these guys that wants to go and do hazmat, or you want to go to arson, or you want to go any of those other specialty things, and that department that you're at doesn't offer that, then you're lying to yourself. You're forcing yourself into a position of comfort because you don't want to have to go start over. And I tell guys, I'm like, man, go to City of Houston. City of Houston got 100 plus stations, 4 different shifts. That means you have 400 homes to find. And then after you've been on the job for a few years, if you want to go to arson, if you want to go to the fucking airport, if you want to go to hazmat, if you want to go to heavy rescue, there's an avenue for you to go chase your dreams in this where you can look up after a 20 or 30-year career and feel fulfilled. You don't feel like you left shit sitting on the table. That is the thing. And see, for so long, it goes back into, you know, people lying to you for so long, generations before us. And I watched this with my parents, guys. I watched this with my parents where, you know, and they did it for us. I'm not knocking on them. I know my mom and dad did the things that they did for us so that they could provide for us and have stability for us. But I watched my parents give up on their dreams to where now, you know, they're in their 60s and 70, almost 70. And my dad is. And yeah, he loved his job, but there was a lot of things that he would have liked to do. My dad was one of the founding members of the Swiftwater and Dive team for a local regional fire department, Swiftwater and Dive team. He gave up diving when I was a kid because they couldn't afford it anymore. My dad, you know, traveled around the world diving. He loved it. And so I watched them do that. And that's why I told myself, man, I'm never going to take comfort in a salary or comfort in a position that didn't fulfill my happiness. I'm not going to be that guy that's just going to sit over here, you know, and more or less draw a check, but get fed a slop of shit. If you start violating the things I believe in, I'm fucking out, you know, and has that been perfect every time? No, but I've always found a way to be happy. I heard a great quote from Vaughn Kohler, who's a co-host with Andy Frisella, and he was talking about it. He said, the best sleep aid you'll ever get in your life is a clear conscience. You don't need medication to sleep when you got a clear conscience, is what he was saying. And I was like, holy shit, I love that saying. That is absolute truth. Because the times in my life when I really didn't sleep good were the times in my life when I did not have a clear conscience. Things were eating me up. And not saying I was guilty of stuff, but when I worked at a place with an extremely toxic leader and the fucking chief treated us like shit, and the district chiefs played tons of games of playing gotcha games between the shifts because they weren't happy. And it was constant fucking turmoil. It created, and my conscience was not clear because I knew that I was living in a bad place. I knew that I was living in a fucking toxic place. So I removed myself from that place, regardless of the fact I gave up being a fucking senior captain. I gave up fucking my pension. I gave up all that shit to have a clear conscience. And guess what, guys? I do. That's why I can openly tell y'all, yeah, I talk loud and I sound like a football coach on here, but I'm not mad. that point in my life, I was mad. That point in my life, my resting blood pressure when I woke up in the morning, guys, I literally, when I went to the department that I'm at now, coming from that other environment, they didn't want to pass me on my physical, not because I didn't pass all the shit, but because of my blood pressure. My resting blood pressure when I was in a homeostasis, for you hippy dippy people, homeostasis state when I first woke up in the morning was 210 over 190. Why? Because I was living a fucking lie. I was living in turmoil and I didn't fucking like it. So my conscience was not clear. I knew what was going on around me was wrong. I watched how people were being treated. I knew that it was wrong. I spoke up. I didn't stand by and fucking let it happen. I put a massive target on my back. I was very, very, very much so hated because they're like, oh, Meredith's so fucking opinionated. He's always got something to say. But the only thing that saved me was my operational ability. That's it. They would say that all day long. Like, we can't stand that motherfucker at the station, but we need him on the fire ground. So that was the only thing that saved my career at that place. But I was not okay. I was not okay because I was living a fucking lie. And so it doesn't matter if somebody's telling you to believe in some shit religiously or political correctness wise, or in your fire department, if they're trying to tell you, that safety matters more than the citizens' lives matter, and that's eating you alive, then something is still fucking eating you alive. And so you're never going to have that clear conscience, man. And so that's where the fucking cowardice comes in. That's why we're talking about cowardice in the fire service and how important it is. Because if you are not stepping up and doing what you need to do to fulfill the things you believe in, then you're being a coward. And you're being a coward simply for comfort. You're being a coward simply because you're scared of what somebody might say. You're being a coward simply because the fucking comments are going to somebody's going to say some shit about you on the comments. Some jackass is going to tell you on the comments, have you had 10 rescues? Shut the fuck up, kid. Okay, because magically somehow if you've had 10 rescues and not 9 rescues, somehow you're a better hero. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. But you're scared of that stuff. You're scared of what that person might say to you. And so it's eating you fucking alive, man. So, guys, with that being said, I just want you all to really genuinely think. I know this was a little different of a toned episode than what, but that's been deep on my mind here lately, especially as we're getting ready to kick off and start traveling a whole lot over the next few months. This is going to be a message that I'm going to be really sharing with people. It goes along with the TAC channel lecture. It goes along with being fucking real. It goes along with this wave of new guys that's coming in that truly believe in realness and being a patriot and being an American and being a fucking firefighter. They believe in that shit. And so all you platforms out there that like to creep on me and, you listen, but you don't want to give me credit for shit. I don't care. I don't necessarily need the credit because my credit is there for itself. Heed my warning. Get ahead of this, because if not, in 10 years, you're not going to have a platform. So with that being said, guys, y'all be sure and go check out our sponsors, whether it's First Form, Payne Mason Cigars, or Test Rescue, man. Of course, obviously the first two, those are actually truly affiliated with me, but I really do believe in the testrescue.com. I think that guy's got a great idea. I think that's going to be an avenue for the future for guys to get real knowledge going into their promotional processes and everything like that. So, and even just getting hired on the job, it's going to be a better route than what we've been doing in the past. And as far as preparing people for the job. So anyways, guys, with that being said, y'all be sure and share the shit out of the show. Let's get the word out. Let's make more Founding Outlaws happen. Let's make more guys go and have that conversation with themselves in the mirror and actually genuinely talk to themselves and figure out what's eating them alive. Are they living the life that they genuinely want to live, or are they, in complete denial and they're being a coward? We've got to get that shit hammered out. Other than that, guys, September's coming really fucking fast. This is my birthday weekend, so I'll pretty much be off the clock this weekend. But September's coming fast. We're going to be all about Arkansas in September. We've got September 12th. We're going to be up there with Floyd Romance Fire Department, breaking in their brand new burn building. The guys up there told me that after the last episode when I announced it and how that hands-on class is already booked out, man, the carpenters up there and stuff have kicked into warp drive. They're all about making sure that building is ready to rock and roll with us. I got Logan Hinkle coming down with Rural Fire Tactics to come and help me out inside the burn building, since it is such a big burn building, and we're going to rock and roll with these guys. They're going to be fired up and ready for us to get there. The chief that's up there is pretty much forewarned everybody. This ain't going to be no bullshit. It's going to be wide ass open. And I'm really excited about it. I'm very excited about getting to break in the new burn building. I'm excited about getting to do a little bit of a collab training with Logan. And, there's a lot more of that coming in the future. I've got him and then another big cadre that we're already in the big planning stages of doing some major collab trainings with across this nation, because it's what's needed. It's what's absolutely needed. Guys want realistic, hardcore operations training, and we're going to give it to them, man. That's what's up. So other than that, be sure and follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. Please go to thirdalarmcowboys.com and sign up for the TAC channel. You've got to go sign up for the TAC channel, get a 10% discount in the all the apparel, whether it's shirts, stickers, decals, all that kind of shit. You can get a 10% discount by signing up for the TAC channel. Other than that, guys, we'll see you on the next one.